Welcome to the real journey of the entrepreneur. The journey of any entrepreneur begins with a decision, then writing down your vision, then the execution of that vision. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand how powerful your mind is and that you can truly create the life that you deserve. It does require a unique formula that includes belief in yourself, a lot of consistency, connecting with an OG, a lot of tears, missing out on a few events and things, and taking a whole lot of risks that will allow you to see your vision and dream come to pass. This journey of the entrepreneur is from the perspective of a wonderful mother, a business owner, whose goal is to break generational barriers and normalize the process of wealth building and financial wellness through entrepreneurship, all while creating a social and give back along the way. I am sharing this journey with you and invite you to share this process with me. Let's do this together. It's my own, but you have to feel comfortable to own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I will always support you.
Thank you.
Well, hello there, good people. Guess what? We are back. We are back. We are back. And guess what? I'm bringing along a few good friends to share their courageous stories as they've stepped into this space of their gifts, their talents, and that space of entrepreneurship. Welcome to The Real Journey of the Entrepreneur. I am your host and producer, Anita Pierce, and I am really excited to have you join us today. We are, guess what, in season number 3. Can you believe it? This is all about taking a leap of faith and also, taking the opportunity to accept a dare. So for those who've been watching faithfully, we've been doing this, interviewing wonderful subject matter experts. We've been interviewing a number of entrepreneurs who have the courage to share their journey with us all. Entrepreneurship is absolutely not for the faint of heart. And for those who have the courage to step into this space, it is a process. It is a journey. It is taking things that we've written down on pieces of paper, that we have in our heads, on our vision boards, on our phones, and having the faith and courage to execute on those things. It is not easy. There's a number of things and challenges that happen within that process. But as long as we remain consistent, guess what? It has no other option but to be what we imagine. So, are you ready to step into this journey? Come on, come along with me. But guess what? I'm not alone today, and I am bringing in a long-term friend, right? So now I'm dating myself, but now we go back. We were former financial services colleagues. We also belong to a trade association where I wind up serving as chapter president. So we have a long history, but now we're coming back together because guess what? He's now an author. And so what makes this so amazing is that we have individuals, again, who have the courage to share their journey, their process, their story. And Mike Holman is no different. So enough of me. Let me welcome to the table because, again, like I always say, I believe, the best seat in the house where I can welcome courageous individuals who will be willing to share their story. And Mike is no different. Welcome to the table, Mike. Hello.
How you doing?
I can't complain. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
All right. So it's been some years, right, that we,
Yes.
but that we've crossed paths, but you are now on this new path of being an author. So let's describe what you've been up to these past, let's say 5 years.
Okay. The past 5 years, I think, well, actually that covers the end of my actual career directly on Wall Street. I worked for the Securities and Exchange Commission, and I worked for the Department of Justice as a contractor. So I got an idea of a little bit what entrepreneur was like, being a contractor for Department of Justice and Securities and Exchange Commission. And also, like you mentioned, we were part of a trade association that dealt with banking. So I got a lot into banking. And when you go to, again, the link that I have, that scrolls to the bottom, whatever, when you go to my WordPress site, you can see the different areas that I have there. My resume, which you know about, is MikeHolman.com. That's one of the, I think that link is on there as well. But what I've been doing is basically, that's the first 2 years. You said 5 years. That's 2 years.
It's 5 years.
Years. So the last 3 years, I've really been more focused on, because I'm involved in ministry as well. So my ministry is Wealthy Place, Wealthy-Place. That's part of the link as well. And basically involved with the church and showing the how I can build the church, because you can just either go to a church, be part of a church, but building content for it is very important. So I use StreamYard, which you are familiar with, and I post out different messages. I have a conversation just like we're having right now. When you go to wealthy-place.org, you'll see I have conversations like this. I'll also incorporate messages that I've preached in the past or whatever in terms of that. But in addition to that, which is kind of interesting in terms of my Wall Street background, I've gotten involved in something still dealing with foreign exchange, which is FX, and e-commerce. And what it is that it allows people who don't know nothing about trading to learn what is trading, what are the FX markets that you get into, what is that, what is e-commerce, how do I find out about different sites that I can go to. The company that I use to do that is IM. So that's one of the things. When you go to my WordPress site, you'll see FX, which is deal with the foreign exchange. You'll see interviews with different people you'll see books on FX, things in terms of FX. E-commerce, you'll see videos on e-commerce, how to get involved in e-commerce. And this is all entrepreneurial. And the way you actually can do it as a function in terms of being a trader or being an e-commerce person, or you can just refer people. Meaning you're not even actually in it, but you know people that are interested in it, want to learn about foreign exchange, want to learn about e-commerce, and you can refer them to this company. So that's a lot of what I'm doing as well. Yeah.
So that sounds like your plate is pretty active and full.
Right.
And so which I want to, before we launch into, what you are doing now, I'm curious to unpack just a little bit about the e-commerce space, since you elevated that to this conversation. And so for those who are entrepreneurs and who are looking to get into that space, what is e-commerce and what does that space entail? If you can describe that briefly.
Sure. On the e-commerce side, it deals with, I would say, the main product we use, if I'm correct, it's Spotify. So we give you a platform where you can go in there and you find it helps you find products that you want to promote. You can promote these products to whoever is interested. They'll ship the products to whoever it needs to go to. They do on delivery and everything like that. But more detail is when you go to WordPress.com and you go to ECX. It's ECX, which is the product name, or just e-commerce. I have both those links on my site, and you learn about just promoting products to people. So it's like it could be phones, it could be different things, whatever product's available, you can promote that out to whoever you want to get that product to. They will give you hints in terms of, here's a good spot to promote whatever you're promoting, and you go with that. They have within the e-commerce space, people just want to learn about e-commerce. They have what's called a portal. Within that portal, You have live individuals who do this for a living. They are experts in e-commerce. So when you click on ECX, and when you go to my WordPress site and you click on ECX, there are live individuals who will teach you everything you need to know about e-commerce. You can ask questions, get a response immediately, live. Or say if you missed a session, you want to go back to a session, you can go back and learn what did they talk about in ECX. There's a Facebook forum where you got people who are involved in ECX. You can ask them questions throughout the day or get responses, whatever you want. But you can do it live within the portal, or you can use the other platforms that they have, all within just e-commerce. Whatever you want to know about it is directly in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And so the link is there. So I'm curious about your now, right? So you recently wrote a book describing your journey. What made you decide to write a book? And tell us a little bit about what it's about, and how we can learn more about your journey.
Sure. I was sitting in my place, and I said, you know what? I should write a book about everything that I've done. Because I was speaking to my son, and I speak to him regularly, and I was telling him about I worked on Wall Street, and I was trying to get a transfer, and they said there's no transfer within the Bank of New York. There's no transfers now. And I said, let me put a transfer in anyway. And I'm talking to him, and I got the transfer in, and I said, you know what? I need to write a book because so many hindrances came. And then I was able to get what I wanted through determination, blunt determination. To get into the foreign exchange department, they said there's no transfers. I put one in anyway, got an interview. I worked in the foreign exchange support group just by doing that. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I've got this experience. Maybe it will help someone. It's not even a long book, but maybe it'll help someone in terms of learning about what foreign exchange, what e-commerce is. And then in the church, I've been in the church all my life, preaching and things like that. I said, I should write what experiences that I've had. So I decided to do that.
So tell us a little bit more about the book.
Oh, sure. Okay, so the beginning part of the book is it starts out with just my church information, background, where I started out in the church, 1979, started out in the church. 1981, I became a licensed minister in 1981. 1989, I was an ordained elder in 1989. So from 1989 I began pastoring like a few months after that. Just started with my family, my family, and the online community, whoever was interested. And I began to grow into that. And then I said, you know what? I've got also, besides 30 years of church history, I've got 30 years of Wall Street history. So I said, let me write what I've done in Wall Street. So I began to write down my experience in foreign exchange, things like dealing with FX, customer service. It's very important in terms of serving customers. I wrote one of the things I wrote in the book. I said, you have to realize that in any field that you're in, if you have customers, that customer needs to know that you're the most important thing to them. So I use as an example in foreign exchange. When I speak to my client, I've got clients in London and Asia, different market, different timelines. While the trade that I'm waiting, the trade may be failing to right now, and it could be, say it's in Asia, 12-hour difference. I need to know what's going on with that trade. So I put in the book, I need to have online access to be able to determine if there's a problem. I'll see it right away so I can get on it. So when I get in the office, then I can work further on it. But I don't want to get in the office and trying to figure out why my trade is failing, and I'm just letting my client now know about it. I need to be ahead of that. So in the book, I go into detail. You need to be ahead of everything. Online access is very key. So I had online access to do that. So I go into detail in that in the book as well. Yeah.
And so you're talking a lot of terms that I'm very familiar with, because I used